Hey everyone, welcome to the reading for today. We're going to see what you guys need to know right now. Keep in mind, it's general. It could be past, present, or future. You will know best how this resonates for you on your timeline, all right? So with that being said, let's see guys, what do you need to know today? What is going on in the collective right now? What do you guys need to know about right now? Let's see. All right, so we have the Wheel of Fortune, Strength, and the Lovers. We have Leo and Gemini. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so fated event here is a turn of events. This is destiny, this is fate, this is karma, okay? And the truth is coming out. Strength and the Lovers. I mean, it looks like a strong connection and love that can overcome anything, all right? Let's see. It looks like a love reading. Let's see how it goes. Why is the Wheel of Fortune here? The Eight of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Wands in reverse. So this looks like career. This looks like someone's job, someone's independence, someone's money, all right? We have a King of Swords here, and then we have something about moving out of a house, leaving a house, moving out, leaving a community because of a job. Okay, why is Strength here? The Knight of Wands, the Ten of Swords in reverse, and the Four of Swords. Yeah, so you're at peace with something, all right? You're not going to have a painful ending. You survived something, and that's why you're at peace, all right? Because your strength carried you through something. You have a lot of mental strength. That's why something is not going to be your ending, all right? They're not going to end you. And they're not even going to get close to making you feel like they can do this to you, okay? Because you have a lot of mental strength. All right, let's see. What's the Lovers? The Six of Pentacles in reverse. The Three of Cups. And the Devil in reverse. No, you didn't do anything wrong. You haven't done anything in the Devil energy, all right? You haven't done anything toxic. Nothing can be bound to. You're not doing anything out of malice or bad intent. You're at peace, all right? And honestly, look, what this feels like is one of the big reasons why you're at peace with all this is because you know you didn't do anything. What's there to stress about? You don't even have to feel like, oh my God, I'm so worried. Oh my God, something's gonna happen to me. There's no reason to feel that way. You didn't do anything. All right, that's why you're at peace. That's why. That's why you have so much strength and perseverance and resilience and courage. Because what are these people going to do to you? You didn't do anything. All right? But I feel like they're trying hard to attach something to you, or they're trying hard to get you to feel some kind of way, or even feeling like they're trying to get you to feel scared or intimidated. But why? There's no reason to feel that way. They're not going to get you stuck in your head like that. All right? So what's the Wheel of Fortune? Yeah, here's the message, all right? Here's the message about somebody's fate and destiny, all right? Yeah, because the truth is out. You know the truth, God knows the truth, and the truth is the truth. They can't change the truth. That's why you're at peace, because the truth is here, all right? It's here twice. Look at that. So who's this King of Swords? the Queen of Cups. And the Five of Swords. This has to do with some sort of sabotage, deception, somebody trying to win at all costs, trying to get what they want. The Ten of Wands, trying to put a burden on you, all right? And it's not yours to carry. They have this burden. They're trying to do everything that they can to put it on you. It's not yours to carry, though, all right? They're putting everything they got into it, though. So what's that about? An official person in reverse, change in reverse. So we have some sort of corruption here, a corrupt person that doesn't want something to change. Or they've been doing something corrupt for so long and they don't want to change their ways. All right. Tell me about that, please. The Devil. That's interesting. So the Devil is in reverse here for you, but for this person, they're coming out as the Devil, the official person in reverse. So this person is obsessed with control. They're greedy. They're toxic. They're angry, vengeful. They want revenge. They want possession. They're obsessed with something here. Something about not getting a gift, losing a blessing. What is this that they're so obsessed with? The plan. What they've been working on. Or, yeah, something to do with work. A main male in reverse is obsessed with a plan. Okay, they're obsessed with a plan, or they're obsessed with something going their way, all right, or making something work. Yeah, they're trying to communicate something or bring forward some sort of information so that they don't face some sort of reckoning or some sort of destruction. They're trying to avoid a catastrophe. They think that they can avoid a catastrophe because they're obsessed with a plan, making it work. All right. Yeah, okay. So what's that about? Obsessed with their own plan here. Page of Cups. The Seven of Cups. They're obsessed with trying to make themselves look innocent, all right? Trying to confuse people, trying to create confusion, illusion, trying to come forward like they're being nice or innocent, okay? It's a King of Cups in the reverse. So they came forward with some sort of communication about a King of Cups in reverse, and this is how they're trying to avoid a catastrophe, because this person is obsessed with a plan. And they don't want something to change because they're corrupt. Or they think that they're above the law. So what's this information about? Someone being exposed as a thief. Okay, you're going to have to explain that one to me. The World. A cycle is closing out. The Ace of Wands. It's something about them taking action, thinking that they're going to have victory and success by closing something out. So basically, this is like a dictator. And a dictator in the sense that they feel like they can dictate the way that things play out. They can dictate destiny, or maybe they don't even believe that that's real, all right? They feel like they can make the rules. They decide how something's going to go. They're obsessed with making a plan work. And they feel like taking this action is going to bring them victory and success. So what is that about? Money. something that they're communicating about money or sudden wealth or a job or a business, all right? But they're coming forward like they're exposing something here. And this is how they're trying to make themselves look innocent. Mature man at the bottom. So it's almost like this person is so obsessed, right? This has to do with a job or a business. So it's, or money, somebody's money, how someone makes their money with the 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. So it's like they're coming forward, trying to avoid a catastrophe in their own camp by claiming to be someone that's exposing crime, right? It's like they want to come forward as if they're exposing something, when in reality they're lying. This is just them trying to avoid their own catastrophe, all right, and make themselves look innocent. And they feel like doing this is going to help them win. Yeah, so let's say someone like lights a car on fire, all right, just an example. And then they go to the police station the next day and they say, I saw who did it. It was this person. That's what this is giving me. And it's really only to make themselves look innocent. But they're pretending to be a good Samaritan, right? They walk in, they go, I saw who did it. It was this and that person. This is the description. Whole time it was them. They did it. They just don't want anybody finding out it was them. That's what this is. That's what this is. All right. Something about moving out of a house or leaving a community or something like that. What's that about? A whole group of people working together. Who would have thought? 9 of Wands, trying to defend themselves. Look, they're trying to protect themselves. So everybody working together here is now trying to defend themselves and protect themselves from what they did, right? Yeah, what they've been, look, they don't want, look, sudden, exactly. They don't want it to be illuminated. They don't want any sun to be shown on what they have been working on all this time for a long time. They've been putting a lot of time and effort into something here. And they don't want anyone to see. Exactly. So what is that? That they don't want anyone to see. They don't want someone to see something about a great fortune. A message of concern in reverse. Somebody did not get a message of concern about a great fortune. That's what they don't want people to find out about, is that somebody did not get a message of concern about a lot of money. Huh, okay, what do you mean? Someone being triggered in turmoil, resentment. This has to do with someone being frustrated in a relationship, feeling insecure, not enough, jealousy. But somebody here was not dating someone new. This has to do with someone being triggered, feeling triggered and resentful and insecure and jealous. About what? Whatever it is, it's a lie, all right? Someone lying, trying to get away with something, manipulating, deceiving, conniving. The 4 of Swords. It's a message. Someone taking action to communicate something, a message. Taking quick action with a message. A Queen of Wands in reverse. This has to do with someone being rejected. Yeah, that's literally this. Triggered, resentful, lessons, turmoil. because of rejection, because of insecurity, jealousy, a lack of confidence. This has to do with a plan, a main male in reverse, trying to make something work obsessively. Jealousy. This has to do with a job and career. Tell me more about that, please. Somebody here is under harsh judgment. Something here is corrupt, illegal, lacking some sort of morals, integrity, values, spiritually corrupt. Something about judging someone. Who the heck is this King of Swords? Somebody in a house. Who's the Queen of Cups? A false person. On a pathway. Pathway to a wealthy man. This has to do with a false person on a pathway to a wealthy man. Or a false person who's trying to become a wealthy man. They're on the pathway to becoming a wealthy man. Okay. This has to do with what they were expecting. They were expecting their destiny to change. They were expecting to change the outcome of something. With someone being triggered and resentful, lessons, lacking confidence, jealousy. But they can't receive what they need. They can't progress. They can't arrive. They can't move forward with something. Why is the Four of Wands reverse is giving me like getting kicked out of a home, getting kicked out of a community. But what does that have to do with someone's job, career, and someone being triggered, frustrated in a relationship, and jealous? I'm missing something here. Has to do with a Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Cups. A message, sending a message, receiving a message, or good news. This is sudden change, shocking news about a soulmate connection. Sudden change, shocking news about a surprise. It's an epiphany about a partnership, an agreement. An agreement. There's an epiphany here when it comes to an agreement. The agreement was to get someone kicked out of the house. Oh, with a marriage. A wedding ring, a marriage. This was an agreement with a married couple or with a marriage. What's the agreement that was made? I'm kind of lost. Hold on. Seven of Cups. Two of Pentacles reverse, Seven of Wands reverse. Whatever it is, they can't switch it around. They can't balance something out. They cannot multitask. They cannot split something up or defend themselves. This has to do with someone being confused, in an illusion. They're stuck. What are they stuck with here? Work. Something to do with a job, a job, an expert, a strategy, a plan, a strategic plan. What's the strategic plan for? To work together. A strategic plan to work together. They took some sort of a leap of faith here, and now their ships aren't coming in, or now they can't see the future, or somebody decided to work together here, but they didn't see how this would pan out, or okay, hold on. Let's just move on and see if this clears up in a second. Why is strength here? Why is strength here? Death in reverse. They couldn't end you, or there's no permanent ending, or something was too strong. The Three of Wands. Something about the future, your future. Seduction. Hooking up, flirting, dating, third-party interference, temptation, seduction. Something about planning this. Text calls, emails. Conversing, message arrives, texting, calling, emailing about some sort of seduction, hooking up, lying about this. What is this, like they couldn't fulfill this plan, or they planned this but they couldn't finish it, or they couldn't end this? Bad memories of the past. The Two of Wands. This was a plan. It was a plan that it was definitely in motion, and it looks like multiple people made this plan. And part of the agreement behind this plan was to make sure that you get kicked out of a house or get kicked out of a community. So if somebody went into partnership with this person, it was like under the guise of, all right, if you help us, then they'll get kicked out of the house, or they'll leave the community, or something like that. But you were at peace because they couldn't do it, or they couldn't finish it or fulfill this. High Priestess, yeah. It was like a long-term plan, like a long time. Like somebody had been going at this plan with you in your life for a long time. They spent a lot of time working towards this. A long time. This could even be years. Years. The Fool. Freedom. What's that about? Poverty in reverse. Coming out of poverty. Coming out of financial hardship and despair. Someone is in despair about you coming out of poverty. Okay, yeah, this is definitely like a long-term plan of like trying to ruin your life, basically. I mean, they're in despair that you came out of poverty. They're in despair that you came out of financial hardship. Because they've been trying for so long to get you kicked out of a house. Like, this could even be about people trying to mess with your job to the point where you can't pay your rent. And you get kicked out because you can't afford your rent anymore, all right? So then they're in despair that you managed to pay your rent. And they're in agreement with someone here. because they're obsessed with this. And it could be the plan that this person is obsessed with is the plan of getting you kicked out of the house or getting kicked out of the community. That's what they could be obsessed with. Is like, I want this person gone, no matter how, no matter what I have to say, no matter what I have to do. This person is absolutely obsessed with that. That's what they're obsessed with. That's what this person is absolutely obsessed with. That's what put them in the devil energy of obsession, control. Is this need for control when it comes to getting you out of the house, all right? Or getting you out of the neighborhood or getting you out of the apartment. It's like this person was on a devil's mission to get you out. Why don't you just ring the doorbell and ask someone to leave, all right? They probably would have told this person, look, I don't want to be here either. I just need a better place to live, all right? First. Cassette, outdated thinking. Replaying events over in your head, outdated thinking, conditioning, a cassette. What's that about? A cassette. Judgment and the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, who's that? This has to do with something backfiring because of corruption or somebody's ungodliness or someone having no morals, no ethics, no values, no integrity, breaking laws, all right? Who's this King of Pentacles? A thief, a liar, a thief, a criminal, all right? A greedy person who would do anything for money, a shady businessman. This is definitely a corrupt, greedy thief. All right. Why are they here now? Because a Queen of Wands is now being exposed. Okay, now Queen of Wands is being exposed as a liar. The Lovers. A Queen of Wands is now being exposed for something they said about a relationship. And this King of Pentacles is also under judgment for being corrupt, a corrupt thief who would do anything for money, a shady business person. Yes, they're all trying to win at all costs, stab people in the back, get what they want, lie, deceive, gossip, slander, backstab, all right, the world, thinking that it would close out a cycle. Should I make it a crime hour, guys? I keep asking, but this time I'm actually really feeling it. Okay, let's see. Why is the Lovers here? The Ace of Cups. This has to do with a new beginning in love. The Four of Cups. And these people don't like it. They're upset about it. They don't like the thought of you getting a new beginning or you being wholesome or something like that, or having self-love. You're not stressed out. You're not worried. They can't intimidate you. They can't put you in anxiety. You're not scared of them. You're not intimidated by them. You're not backing down. That's the energy at the beginning. It's like what they hate more than anything in this plan, I guess, is the fact that they can't break you down. You're not scared of them. You're not intimidated by them. You don't really give a fuck what they say, what they do behind the scenes because you know they're lying. Okay. Yeah, this has to do with walking away, leaving it behind, cutting yourself loose. Yeah, you could have just gotten up and left. You're like, I'm out of here. I don't care. I'm cutting myself loose. I don't really give a shit what you guys say, what you guys do. Go be little kindergartners over there. All right? Because that's what they are, kindergartners. Okay. And this has to do with someone being confused or trying to create confusion about the action that you took or that someone took. To walk away. . So you walk away from them because they're all crazy and terrorizing you and harassing you and won't leave you alone. And they've been doing everything in their possible power to get you out of the community, get you out of the house, get you out of here, get you to lose this, get you poor in poverty and lose your stability. And then they're confused when you just get up and leave and you're like, bye, I'm not dealing with you anymore. Or I just don't get it. It's almost like, look, this is like narcissism on steroids, okay? It's like they want their way so bad. They're so obsessed with getting what they want. And when you just turn your back on it and don't even give it any mind, they get angry that you're not upset. It's like they want you to be scared of them. They want to feel like they have power over you, a reaction from you. Who are you, all right? Who gave you the authority in this life? What is this? You're like, I'm gone. Exactly. 8 of Cups and Temperance. You're like, I'm staying balanced. I'm on my balanced healing temperance path. I'm not going to go down to your level. I'm not going to get petty like you. Okay. I'm not even going to look at you. You're not even worth looking in the eyes. All right. I'm just going to turn my back on you and leave. Bye. Never see you again. All right. And they're like, no, you were supposed to argue with us. No, you're not even worth that. You're not even worth it. 2 of Wands. Something about you moving forward, a choice to walk away, a message. Yeah, sometimes silence speaks louder than words, all right? The 10 of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. This has to do with a message about a painful betrayal, or they were hoping to hear that you had a painful ending. No, you didn't, and you won't be having one, all right? Or something about a business investment, a payment, whatever that is. Yeah, you know what? Let's do crime hour today, guys, because I kind of feel like Spirit wants to tell us some more about this. So let's see what's going on. All right, let's see. What are they so obsessed with here? This plan. Jail or prison? They're obsessed with jail or prison. All right. Money. They're obsessed with money. Water and nudes. They're obsessed with trying to get you put in jail or prison, claiming that you make money off of nudes, all right? Or that's what they do. They pay for nudes, all right, with their money. Pharmacy. Yes. Yes, so both? I don't know. Pick one, all right? So either they're obsessed with you, claiming that you do this for money, or they do this and they don't want anyone finding out. Yes. A ring or jewelry. Medical records. That's the sign or the message for someone being broke. That's the sign or the message. A record. Why do I feel like it's a recording? A recording. Identity fraud and receipts. This has to do with fraudulent receipts or somebody trying to commit identity fraud with receipts. The number 4 is a thief. V is being pulled in for questioning. They made a deal. Oh, they made a deal, prosty. So this has to do with a deal that they made to say that you're a prosty. I was kind of already getting that, all right, with this job thing and trying to get you kicked out of the house or getting kicked out of the community. So this is a deal that these people made because they're so obsessed and desperate to have you leave a community that they've been telling people that you make money with nudes, all right? You're an SEX worker, a device. But actually, you're innocent. You're innocent, actually, all right? But even though you're innocent, they're still obsessed with you and putting you in jail or prison. The question, though, is why? Like, why are they so obsessed with this, all right? Because of the internet. And money. Money on the internet. root chakra, all right? So your stability, your money, and something on the internet. Internet surveillance. What about security camera? Internet surveillance, a security camera surveillance of a robbery, IP address robbery negotiation. So they negotiated to rob you of something because of IP address internet surveillance, or robbing something at an address because they made a deal to be a thief and commit identity fraud. 4 and V. And something about jealousy, right? Because that's coming back to this, whatever this is here. You being triggered, someone being jealous. So what is that about? Jealousy. A letter. A letter. Deposit. A letter with a deposit. M or W. A letter and a deposit. Or it's a deposition, a sacrifice. This has to, oh, is that where this comes in? A jealous sacrifice. So they try to say or accuse you of sacrificing something or something because you're jealous. P, online business. So I feel like this came first. So first, they accuse you of having an online business where you're making money off of nudes. This was a deal to say that you're a prosty, all right, or to set you up this way. And when that didn't work because you're innocent, they tried to say that you make sacrifices because you're jealous. This has to do with your home. Yeah, real estate, insurance. Insurance, real estate. A violent crime. They try to accuse you of a violent crime because of sacral energy. Okay, they're obsessed. They're obsessed, absolutely obsessed with getting you kicked out of the house, getting you to lose your house, getting you homeless. And they're also weirdly obsessed with getting you put in jail or prison. I don't know why. Most likely because they're just a demon or they're possessed by a demon, all right? Because why else are you so fucking gung-ho on this shit, all right? So when they made this deal to frame you as a prosty, and that didn't work because you're innocent, they then decided to ramp it up a notch, apparently, and try and accuse you of a violent crime, which I'm assuming is this. Where is it? Sacrifice. All right, so these are the readings I was getting 2 weeks ago where, go watch those if you haven't watched those. A violent crime. Okay. A warning. RICO. And now they're getting a warning because this is a RICO case. Yeah, there's a lot of people involved. A lot of corruption involved. All right. A warning RICO case here. Poison. Witchcraft. So they got a warning that something was being seen as a RICO case because you're innocent, you're not a prosty, all right? Something with money on the internet, right? A RICO case. So it's most likely a sex trafficking case, all right, at this point, because that's not you on the internet. So once that warning came through, they decided to then accuse you of witchcraft and sacrifice, all right? E. And this has to do with E. karma. That's about to get karma. E is about to get karma, okay? Because you're protected, protective order, because you are protected, or this has to do with a protective order, and C, and a betrayal. Okay? Yeah, this is definitely corruption. And now there's people that are about to get karma for this. And all this just because they want you kicked out of the house. That bad. That bad. Like, as if you enjoy living anywhere near these people, all right? If these are these nosy neighbors, as if you enjoy living near them. I feel like most people that if they had the means to move immediately, they would move immediately. Immediately. Do you think anyone enjoys living next to psychos like this? No. So if these people would have just left you alone and you would have had the means to move immediately, you probably would have been gone way sooner, or you would already be gone, or you wouldn't be living anywhere near them, all right? You don't want to be near them. Crazy people like this. So tell me about this Queen of Wands getting exposed for supporting this mortgage, supporting something at a home with a mortgage. M, document. This has to do with documents. Somebody's getting exposed for some sort of documents, and this has to do with support and mortgage. Why do I feel like this is like HOA or like a, what's it called? The union. Like a homeowners union, or, you know, those agencies that are supposed to be protecting people that rent or something like that. A trafficking phone call. A phone call and trafficking. MI. Or somebody made a phone call and asked for support at a home because of a document. A binding document was stolen. Europe. A binding document was stolen. Or they asked for support in trying to bind something to you with a phone or a phone call. And this has to do with trafficking. G. MIG is trying to run away. And this has to do with a teacher who's depressed. A teacher that's depressed. MIG made a choice. This is bad news when it comes to buying something because of an injury. Or they made a choice because they got bad news about somebody buying something because of an injury. Okay. What is that about? It has to do with an ex pressing charges. F. And Russia. This has to do with an ex pressing charges. Pressing charges on something with a heart. Yeah, that's that fucking sacrifice shit again. I swear. Phone wire. A phone wire. They made a deal to support these people with a phone wire. All right, so what I'm getting here is revenge. So once they got the warning that you are innocent, all right, they made a deal here to do something on a phone call on a phone, where they tried to press charges on you, because this is a RICO case. There's got to be some corrupt people here. I don't know. Something about a wire. So it's almost like they, MIG. I don't know who this person is. Maybe this is also a neighbor. MIG. It's almost like while you're not home, they try to bind something to you by doing something on a phone or texting something on a phone back and forth and trying to set something up, making it look like some sort of a weird sacrifice or something like that. Because of some sort of trafficking, okay? Supporting someone at a mortgage, supporting someone at a home. And this has to do with someone being depressed, an ex, and an ex. So it's basically like hacking or GPS spoofing something on a phone to make it look like it's you, all right? I can't make it up. Phone call. Yeah, so something about texting, calling, and emailing, all right, on a phone. Trying to set it up, make it look like it's you. Yeah, they're trying to bind something to you, F. Trying to bind something to you on a phone, F. A choice. National, M. M. M is bound to a phone. Or M try to bind you to a phone, or you're M, I don't know. Why? Why F? What does that mean? Two. Sacrifice. They tried to bind a sacrifice to you on a phone. So it's GPS spoofing, or it's hacking your Wi-Fi. Canada and close. CC. VPN. VPN and amphetamine. So put a VPN on a phone, GPS spoof the phone or whatever that is, or just conceal something with the phone. Whoever jailbroke this phone, that's what that looks like. Somebody jailbreaks the phone, they try to make it look like it's you, and then they text something back and forth about a sacrifice. And geolocation drive-by, look at that. Somebody drove by your house just to use your geolocation. How interesting. And this has to do with changing hands. This is how something changed hands. Okay. But there's a digital footprint anyways. So there's some sort of digital footprint here. When it comes to a deal that was made, or a dealer, debt collection, a deal with debt collection, a digital footprint with a dealer and debt collection, okay? That's the smoking GUN. Is E and U. The smoking GUN is Migeu. Whose name does that spell, huh? Why is that person the smoking GUN? Because of their identity. Committing perjury. Committing perjury to get a warrant out, saying that you're obsessed. So they try, exactly. They try to say that you are obsessed with someone, you're jealous. They try to get a warrant put out for your arrest based, oh, look at that, what came out. I didn't even see this. Catfish. With a catfish profile, VPN, GPS spoofing, phone, trying to make something look like it's you with a sacrifice, huh? Wow. Okay. Landlord. This has to do with your landlord and the West Coast. So I feel like whenever you were not home, or maybe these people knew when you were home because they're your neighbors or they're in your community. Online business. That's the sign or the message with medical records, or that's the sign or the message with records or a recording. Robbery. Number 4, again, E and number 4. I don't know why number 4 keeps coming out, E. Or maybe that's a day of birth or a month, or I don't know. It has to do with a marriage, a married couple, and a DNA test. A marriage and a DNA test. Stealing medical records, robbery of medical records. Beauty industry. Yeah, some sort of abuse, all right? Crown chakra. Cyber stalking, eviction. That's what they wanted. I'm telling you, this is what they want. This is what they want. That's all they want is eviction. Is you kicked out of the house. Is you gone. Is you out of the community. This is what they're obsessed with. They don't care if you actually are committing something or doing something wrong. They don't care. They're setting you up because they just want you gone. It's like they are knowingly trying to accuse you of things that you're not doing because they want you gone. They're not coming forward with any kind of information of what you're doing. They're setting you up with this because they want you evicted. They want you gone. They don't care what they have to say. That's why they're cyber stalking. So why would these people do all this stuff? Why are they so crazy? Because they don't want you around the house. They don't want you anywhere in the neighborhood. They want you to leave. They want you gone forever. Because they're fucking weird, yo. Or maybe these are like people in retirement, okay? And they don't want to spend the last days of retirement living next to you. It's like, you think that collective wants to live next to them? I don't think so. Like, sometimes it's just out of necessity, all right, really. So who the hell is this King of Pentacles? The UK. Investigation. The King of Pentacles is somebody involved in a UK investigation. And somebody self-deleting because of a copycat. And a social media profile. So the King of Pentacles is investigating something with the UK and a copycat social media profile. Well, why is this person coming out as a thief? Because they're doing someone a favor? Okay. Because they're doing R a favor. Yes. So why is somebody that's investigating the UK and a copycat social media profile, R, coming out as a thief, criminal, greedy, corrupt person? Because they're doing someone a favor, R? They're doing R a favor here, this King of Pentacles. Whoever the hell that is. UK investigation. Whatever that means. No. Accidental death. An accidental death with self-deleting. Selling F. Selling F? What is that? It's whatever G is in possession of. So G is in possession of selling F, and so they're doing R a favor because of a copycat social media profile, and this has to do with a UK investigation. This is someone working a trade job. No, I don't feel like they're a trade job. Well, maybe they are. A trade job, mechanic, electrician. Trust, or this is who they trust. They trust someone who is a mechanic, electrician, a handyman with a transfer. TR, TR, TR. Trade, trust, transfer. TR, TR, TR. Why? TRY. TRY. That could be a name. Why are they showing up as a thief? Because of E. E keeps coming out. E and K. Robbery, medical records. Because somebody stole somebody's medical records. Because somebody is a thief. Somebody stole medical records. KERYG. And this is somebody national. Amphetamine. Because somebody stole someone's medical records. Amphetamine. Okay. And this has to do with screenshots of someone's intellectual property. Offshore account, binding, trying to bind someone to an offshore account. D, trying to bind someone to an offshore account. Has to do with stealing some sort of medical records. And a robbery. Screenshots of stealing medical records. Screenshots of stealing something. Trying to cause an accidental death because of an investigation. UK. All right. Opioids. Opioids. Oh, okay. Somebody got cash. Somebody got cash to say something, to speak about something with opioids. To a prosecutor or district attorney. Talking about life insurance. South America. This has to do with someone in an airplane. Somebody in an airplane disguising themselves in South America. South America disguise on an airplane. Okay. Somebody doing spell work here with cocaine. This has to do with a caseworker and PayPal. And somebody disguising themselves on an airplane to South America with cocaine. All right. L, that's the geolocation of L. The geolocation of L has it, Canada, Has to do with someone driving by, a landlord driving by a house. A landlord driving by. Someone driving by a landlord has to do with Canada. The geolocation of L. Cocaine is somebody wearing a disguise in South America on an airplane. All right, whatever that means. This has to do with a witness that is premeditated, or a witness claiming that something is premeditated about someone flying on a plane. Okay. E and an online business. Okay, so whoever E is, and what they said, what E said about being a witness to something with an online business, this was premeditated because of somebody flying in an airplane wearing a disguise. Okay, something about spell work, or pretending to have seen something. Spell work on an airplane, South America. Or maybe someone is South American. This has to do with a VPN, all right? F, a VPN and F. Something about what they did with this VPN or with a phone, okay? Or maybe they knew where you would be traveling to, or VPN airplane, or airplane Wi-Fi. This has to do with Z and pictures. Z and pictures. Attack. Pictures of an attack, and Z has to do with a VPN and someone traveling in an airplane. Okay, anything else here? S. Backfire. Backfire on SZ. Backfire on SZ. L. Child support. Supporting a child. Or a child. Postbox STD. Now something is backfiring on SZ because of something in a post box about an STD and child support. Okay. Alcohol and nudes. Intoxicated kidnapping. Someone tried to accuse you of kidnapping because of nudes and intoxication. So what? They tried to set it up to make it look like you were what? Getting on a plane to run away? And that's part of these messages that they tried sending back and forth. Addiction. This has to do with a subpoena. O. A wiretap. Pregnancy. A wiretap. Pregnancy. So basically what I'm getting here is that they got a corrupt person to launch a fake investigation into you. just so that they can pretend to wiretap your phone, a fake phone that is in the possession of one of these people who has a VPN on the phone or whatever. They jailbroke the phone, okay? And they're pretending to be you, and they're sending messages back and forth. And then this corrupt person in law with this fake UK investigation here is then pretending that you're sending all these messages and that they have this information from a wiretap, and they're setting up your accidental deaths to look like an unaliving or a self-deleting due to an addiction. That's what this kind of looks like, okay? So somebody's doing someone a favor, working a case or starting some sort of a fake investigation from one of these people that know this corrupt official. And then based off of this false information, they start an investigation into you just to set up this wiretap fraud, this fake phone fraud, all right? And they got cash for this. Cash for opioids. Cash for opioids. And nudes. L. 4 letters. 4 letters. A subpoena. Landlord Canada. Now they're trying to burn or destroy their cyber stalking with an ID card. Now they're trying to burn or destroy their or this is how they try to burn and destroy their cyber stalking. It's all 4 letters. International weed trap. But I feel like, no, this has something to do with someone's name that has 4 letters in it and maybe an L, okay? B. That was the plan. That was the plan with an income garnishment, B. So corrupt. I didn't even see that. So corrupt. Okay, so somebody that's corrupt planned this here with a subpoena and an income garnishment. They launched an investigation into you to cover up someone's cyber stalking. Then they accused you of something with opioids and cash. International, and this has to do with someone flying on a plane and a physical disease. Yes, that's what it is. Yes. All right, the number 6. Yes, the number 6 is possessed by a demon. It's an employee. It's some sort of an employee, or this has to do with a store and a cybercrime. So the cybercrime is this deal that they made to set you up as a prosti, which then you ended up being innocent. This is not you. It's actually a RICO case, all right? Cybercrime. And to get away with all this stuff and the fact that these people who want you evicted from the home are involved in this cybercrime, they're now working together with someone who's corrupt, income garnishment, to put a fake wiretapping on a phone that's not even yours, that's actually in the possession of one of these people that's pretending to be you, and they're setting up something about being possessed by a demon and a sacrifice. All right, that's what that looks like. Solar plexus. S, a lawyer. And medical records. A prosti, yeah. A lawyer, prosti, medical records, and S. Wants revenge. Someone wants revenge here because you're innocent. This was the revenge because you're innocent. Wow. This fake wiretapping, this corrupt person launching a fake investigation was revenge because of your innocence. And now they're going to get karma for this? Because of money and V. Because of V and money, because V took money. B. The number 5, P and accounting. An account. P, an account, and V and B. Or BV, all right? Jurisdiction. This has to do with what they did to take over the jurisdiction, a vacation. All right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. Okay, let's just see maybe who's involved in this. A brother, Cancer, and an August, someone's brother. Someone's brother could be a Scorpio. June, January, March, and a Capricorn. And December. And then we have Aries, all right? Okay, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.